Using cameras, I can also generate walkthrough animations. In this case, for example, let's say I wanted to walk around my conveyor assembly here to get a good look at the entire project. So there are two main methods I can use to create walkthroughs. I can create a walkthrough using the free camera by simply moving a camera with key points, such as we kind of ran through in the last lesson. Another option, I can create a walkthrough by using a path, which essentially will attach a camera to an actual sketched path. So let's first take a look at creating my free camera walkaround. And again, the process is fairly similar to what we ran through last lesson. So I jump to my motion manager, the free path option here. And I have two cameras created here, free camera and then path camera. So let's focus on the free camera here at first. And essentially all I'd like to do is edit the properties of this camera and change the positions throughout various points in time. Now, the first thing I might want to do, so I won't have to set my camera every single time, is again, right click on your orientation and camera views here. And make sure you have disable view key creation turned off or not checked on. And again, what that will do is just automatically update your viewing keys whenever there's a view change, so you don't have to set the key every single time. So I'll start with free camera here. So I can just double click on my free camera. And notice I'm at 0 seconds within my time bar here. So I'm just going to set the specific camera view I'd like for my 0 second time here. So I'm just hitting the space bar, and maybe I'll try to fine tune this a little bit here. I'm pretty happy with where it's set up already here. I'm gonna essentially start at the beginning, somewhere about here, let's say. And then, we'll walk past the conveyor, maybe turn around and walk back, something like that. So I can fine tune this a little bit. I like to jump to kind of normal views, a front view, a top view, and things like that. It's just a little bit easier to make sure things are aligned fairly nicely. And again, I'm just doing a fairly rough animation here. Of course, you could get very specific and use all the more exact properties within your side panel here. Then once I'm happy with that, I'll just hit the green check and say OK. Okay. So now at 0 seconds, I should be in this exact kind of front view to start walking past my conveyor. So then from there, all I would do is move to a different time point. Let's say move ahead to about 6 seconds or so. And then make the edits to that free camera properties such that my cameraman will be walking past the conveyor. Let's go to my free camera again. I can double click here or right click properties. And again, see my cameraman view as well as the director view here. Maybe I'll jump to a front view again here. And so from 0 to 6 seconds, here's my cameraman at 0 seconds. And at 6 seconds, I just want him to start walking forwards past my conveyor. And while I'm doing this, I like to take a look at the right-hand side there as well to see what the cameraman is seeing. So from 0 to 6 seconds now, just essentially walking down the length of the conveyor there. And if I'm happy with that, and hit the green check for OK. And notice that key has now been placed from 0 to 6 seconds for my free camera. So of course, if I was to play through from the beginning here, it's just going to be that exact walking down the length of the conveyor as I would expect. Okay. And then of course you can add and add and add, make as complex walkthroughs as you'd like here. So let's say now from 6 to 8 seconds, I'm going to kind of turn around the conveyor a little bit. So I'm going to move, let's say from 6 to 8 seconds or so. And then again, jump into my free camera, right click, go into the properties there. And just change again exactly what I might be looking for here. So let's navigate a little bit here. Okay. And maybe I want to start to rotate my cameraman. Okay, something like this. And maybe I'm even going to change, what he's viewing. Something like this, and maybe move him forward a little bit as well. And there's a lot of fine tuning you can do here, of course, as well. So if you notice when you're running through these key points and it's not exactly what you're hoping for, of course, you can just jump back into those properties, make the changes and so forth. So let's see how this might turn out. So from 0 to 6 seconds, since I'm walking down the conveyor, and from 6 to 8, I'm kind of turning around the conveyor there. And I can hit the green check. Okay, play through the beginning. Walking down to about 6 seconds. And then from 6 to 8, maybe kind of turning around a little bit there. And then maybe 8 to 10 or so. Let's turn a little bit further. So I'll go back into my free camera properties. And make whatever necessary changes. Let's say now I'm going to turn a little bit further here. Something about that or so. And hit the green check. Again, this should be very rough as I'm kind of running through this fairly quickly here, just so you can get an idea of the general process here. So I'm going to turn it all the way around now from 6 to 8, and then from 8 to 10. And then I could just finish it off real quick. Let's say 10 to 16 seconds walking down the other end of my conveyor now. So I'm moving my time bar ahead to 16 seconds, going back into my free camera, properties, and then just finish it off here. So let's jump maybe into a top view here just to see. And so now I'm just going to kind of want to walk down the conveyor a little bit here. So something like that from 10 to 16 seconds, and finally hit the green check. And now if I'd like, of course, play all the way through. So you can see the general process to generate these types of walkthroughs, really just changing the cameraman properties at different time points to suit your exact needs.